What's up, people? This video is life in the tropics. We're gonna start with some push-ups for you. So let's see how many we can do.
Let's go, Noid. Nice, bro. Let's do some pull-ups, guys.
Let's go. What is up, beautiful people? I'm out here with my friend Riley, and in today's video we wanted to do a mukbang for you. And if you don't know what a mukbang is, it's where you have a feast of food, whatever food you have, but in our case it's gonna be with fruits. And we wanted to present a particular topic to today's meal and for the video. So the topic that we're gonna be addressing whilst we eat our food is gonna be about life in the tropics. So yeah, I got some mangoes over here, and right here I just made a juice from a whole load of pears that I bought for a discounted price because they were perfectly ripe. So yeah, I'm excited to eat, and Riley's got his food over here.
Got some pawpaws. Love my pawpaws. Just gonna have a mono meal.
Yeah. Cool, man. So yeah, enjoy your meal and let's begin the video. Cheers, bro.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Yes.
So, many things to love about living in the tropics, but I think the most obvious one that we should start with is the fruit. I mean, let's be real, tropical fruit is delicious, and so much colour, so much sweetness, so much abundance. Just great.
So yeah, tell them a bit about where we are, where we're located. We tried to get the footage behind us. These guys are missing out, but we get this beautiful view.
Missing out so hard. Yeah, so we're in the Misty Mountains in far north Queensland. It's beautiful, tropical, mountainous climate here. Beautiful rainforest behind us. It's actually bordering on temperate. And it's just gorgeous. We've got beautiful views here, mountains behind us, some lush fields, and this property that we're on is where I grew up, and my father lives here too. And it's beautiful. We've got a big creek coming through the middle, and yesterday me and the weed went to explore the place and went all the way to the back to the other fields, and yeah, it's really beautiful here. So very grateful to be in this part of the world. And yeah, the tropics.
This place is really big, 208 acres, many trees. You could get lost in this place if you don't know where you are, if you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of greenery, a lot of nature, a lot of animals. Beautiful place. So yeah, I guess I'll present a couple of questions to you because you pretty much grew up in the tropics. So yeah, how did that feel? Like, and have you been to like cold places for like prolonged periods of time? And do you notice a difference? And what are some of those differences?
Good question. I'd say, like most things, like it's easy to take things for granted. So I guess growing up here, I didn't really realize how valuable and how good I had it growing up in the tropics. And I guess I probably in the past I'd complain more about the heat and things like that. But now I've really come to realize it's where I want to be. It's where I feel most comfortable in my body. It's where the abundance is. And yeah, we had when I was young, we had times going away to colder places, mostly just for short periods of times. I remember seeing snow for the first time. That was blew my mind. Going skiing in Japan. And I don't think I would want to live in a cold place for longer than 2 weeks tops, just because I feel like I'm so closed off and I have to be inside with a fire and heaps of clothes. I want to be free. I want to feel comfortable in my skin. So yeah, I wouldn't want to live in anywhere too cold. I mean, tropics, maybe subtropics as well, and just maybe visit colder places if I feel the calling.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously I grew up in England, so my life was quite different to yours, and I just know that I want to be where it's sunny, so that's where I'm moving my life to. It's been beautiful here in Australia and far north Queensland to see the scenery, the abundance of fresh fruits available, and how much this sort of fruit-based lifestyle goes perfectly with living in the tropics. You know, you take care of your health, you have plenty of sunlight, so you're not deficient in vitamin D at all. So yeah, your health is something that you can focus on, like without even trying, actually. just by choosing to live in a sunnier location.
I feel you, man.
So I know I definitely don't want to live in England, and yeah, it's my journey to figure out where is going to be home for me over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I feel the same. The sun is so important. It's the light, and you know, getting the sun just really boosts my mood and my energy levels. And we do have a time of year here in the tropics where it gets very rainy, and because of that, sometimes we don't see the sun even for a week or two, and that's always quite a depressing time. But luckily, it's still nice and warm, and we still got the fruits and things. But yeah, man, I feel for you growing up in England. I mean, really different set of challenges.
Yeah, I definitely started to realize in my older teenage years that something was wrong. My body literally felt like it was missing something. You know, the idea of being hungry all the time, but like not being able to fulfill that need from eating. And no matter what you eat, like, you know, it's just not quenching that thirst that is inside of you. And actually I realized it's sunlight, because when I would go traveling to sunny places, like that feeling would disappear. I'd get I'd get the sun on my skin, and it would just like radiate my whole body, and I would feel at ease, you know? So yeah, for a good at least 6 months now since I finished university, I've just been chasing the sun, going to the hottest places I can find, and and just, you know, spending all day, every day under the intense sunlight, and being on a fruit-based lifestyle, plus like my ethnic background. You know, it's no issue for me being in 35, 38 degrees heat all day. No sun cream, nothing, just, you know, just fruit living and some fruit peels on my skin. And if you don't know about using fruit peels on your skin, I highly recommend checking that out instead of using all these synthetic products that are available out there, which are actually going to harm you.
Most of them are made out of things like pawpaw anyway. Just rub it on. Yeah, I'm not the same as him though. I can't get quite as much sun, just because of my genetic makeup. But I really feel where he's coming from. Definitely, it's a vitamin D. I think it's a need that we all have, and frankly, not all of us are getting if we live in a less than sunny place. So yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
So, what are some other things you like about living in the tropics?
Ah, wow. Yeah, man. So just obviously the availability of fruit. That's a given. So there's trees everywhere. There's fruit trees everywhere. There's a lot of wild trees growing. You can forage a lot of things. The prices are a lot lower for your food.
But in England, you have to pay like heaps just for some unripe bananas or something.
Yeah, most of the fruit is unripe, so fruit quality is a lot better here.
Yeah.
Quality and availability. Another thing, obviously we mentioned sun, so we won't go into that again. Something else is how much how much more minimalistic you can be in the tropics. So, you know, just by living in a colder climate, you will need more clothes to stay warm when you're outside. So, you know, already you gotta hoard way more things. You know, you need boots, you need shoes, you need a coat, you need thick trousers, you need socks, you need all these things, you know, which is gonna take up space. But when you're in the tropics, look at us, we're just in our shorts.
It's a natural life, don't need much.
Yeah, so you can definitely carry less things, and when you're carrying less things physically, it's gonna make you feel lighter, so you can do more things basically, and you don't feel weighed down. So that's another thing I really appreciate. Yeah, cool. So you grew up in Australia most of your life, and you've done a bit of traveling in South America in terms of tropics.
Yeah.
You still haven't explored much of Africa or Southeast Asia, so...
I've been a few places in Southeast Asia I haven't told you about yet, but yeah, I'd definitely love to explore it more. So when I was 12, I went with my family. We did Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos, and Singapore as well.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting, but I was at a different stage in my life, and once again wasn't as grateful and making the most of the tropical life and the fruits and things.
Yeah. Okay, so from what you have experienced, how would you compare the tropical life in South America and the other places that you've been to how it is here?
Good question. Obviously there's a huge cultural difference, which I think is the most striking. The nature and the rainforests are actually very similar. They have different species and like key ones that you see like, wow, we don't have that here. And a lot of the same species that have branched off and evolved over time since the continents have been separated. So you can sort of see some similarities as well. The rainforests though tend to be pretty similar, tropical rainforests, at least from an eye perspective. Obviously there's different fruits, different availabilities of fruits, different prices. It's definitely much cheaper, and I'd probably say more abundance in places like Southeast Asia and South America. We have a very wide variety of fruits that grow here, so because there's so many different microclimates in the region, in this part of Australia, we can grow so many different types of fruits, whereas other places are probably more limited but more abundant. So yeah, I'd say those are probably the biggest differences in nature, like different animals and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on the cultural differences. That's from the place that I've been to. I've seen a bit of South America, I've seen a bit of Southeast Asia, and now here in Australia. But each of these places is completely different culturally. The mindset of the people that live there is entirely different. And that's of course going to affect your life and the way things are there. So that's something to, get a good understanding of, especially for me before I choose to settle down in a particular continent or any region. So,
how would you say, like, if you could describe the cultures in Southeast Asia compared to South America, just so people have an idea if they want to go and see if they would fit in?
Yeah. So I'd say Southeast Asia is a very humble place. People are very humble. They're not very rich financially, but they're rich spiritually, and in a way that, like with their relationships, that kind of thing, and they're just generally happy with life. So it's a great location to actually reflect on your own life and build your skills there, I think, because everything is so cheap. You can do a lot with very little, and of course enjoy the landscapes and all the beauties that the countries have to offer.
Yeah, they remind me of particularly Southeast Asia, very happy, smiley, very welcoming people. I think it's too also with the Buddhist culture, kind of frowns on some of the negative aspects of culture that we have here, like violence and stealing and things like that. So also feels very safe as well for a traveller, which is always good.
Yeah, and I noticed as well there wasn't much alcohol there, so big cultural difference compared to here. There's more alcohol involved in the culture of the Australian mindset, if that is such a thing. The hostels I've been staying at, so I'd say there's a lot more culture in Southeast Asia, and then South America is just a whole different world,
The culture over there is very, very diverse, very interesting. There's a lot of indigenous culture there. It's not so westernized compared to here, which is in many ways like any Western country on the planet. Whereas over there, I feel like they retain a lot more of their authentic indigenous culture and ways of living. So I really like that about it.
Yeah, and I'd say there's more differences as well between the countries in South America compared to in Southeast Asia. So
Yeah.
let's say you go to Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, like the mindset of the people is generally quite similar, or just the way that you feel there. You don't see a lot, or you don't feel a big difference. But in South America, I can imagine, I've only been to Peru and Brazil, and both of those places are entirely different. People are completely different. So I can only imagine what it's like going to Colombia, Venezuela, all these other countries that I haven't been to.
Yeah, a lot to explore over there, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I've travelled around a bit and saw a few of the countries in South America, and I found Peru, Ecuador, I mean they're all different, but they were the most exciting for me, as well as Brazil, and I mean it's hard to say because they were all so different.
Mm-hmm.
Ecuador's more westernized, it's got a lot more kind of American expats and people from around the world, and they're on the US currency and things like that. They still have their indigenous culture and everything, but it's been more modernized.
Yeah.
Peru has surprisingly, it's more independent, it's not as westernized. Its culture's super rich, the nature's super rich.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're doing well, like economically and everything. They're very business minded people. And then Bolivia is the poorest country in South America and also the most indigenous. It's very, very authentic. It can be more rough traveling, but it's incredibly beautiful, incredibly rich country. So yeah, there's a lot to explore there. I haven't been to Colombia or Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. So both yourself and I have a lot more traveling ahead of us.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched on Africa. We've only been to Morocco, but that's on the very corner. So yeah, I'm very excited for all the travels that lie ahead of us, man.
Yeah, man.
So yeah,
sure.
I guess I want to wrap this video up here. I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, to let you know a bit more about Riley. Riley is currently 18 years old. Yeah, and if you want to tell them a bit more about yourself, if they want to find your YouTube channel as well, anything you want to say.
Yeah, so I'm just a human, I guess, and I have different interests, and I like living here. I'm on a sort of a similar path to Norweed in many ways, with the fruits and the tropical living, natural living in general, growing awareness, these kinds of things. And yeah, I'm in a stage at the moment where I'm doing a lot of learning, a lot of introspection, and kind of thinking about what I want for my life. And travel, I feel, is also really important to me, so more of those journeys ahead, like Noreen said. And yeah, so I have a YouTube channel as well. I haven't really posted anything, but the idea of starting to make content, these sorts of things, has been marinating in my mind for some time. So if you want, you can check out my channel. Who knows, there might not be that much up there, but we'll just see. So it's just Riley Hickson. We'll put it down in the bio actually and make it a bit easier.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can check it out and see what's to come, if anything.
Yeah, I think he's going to be on to big things. So if you continue following my journey, I'm sure you'll also find Riley somewhere at some point in the future as well.
Yeah.
So, if not now, then in the future, definitely.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching. Peace and love.
Peace, guys. Hope you enjoyed.